Hey everyone, this is Trainboy and welcome back to another video. So this is going to be the start of some camera review videos that I'm going to be doing on cameras that I've owned in the past or currently own. And I'm going to start off with a camera I just got in the mail yesterday. And also, something that I've wanted since it came out back in 2012. This is the Canon Powershot ELPH 110HS. Oh my lord. So this camera came out in early 2012, I think maybe around January or March or something like that. I'm seeing a lot of reviews and stuff like that from March 2012, so it's 11 years old right now, as of March 2023. So to briefly go over the features and functions of this camera, it's got a 16 megapixel backside illuminated CMOS sensor with their new at the time Digic 5 image processor, which was also in the Canon Powershot G15 that I used. It's got 5 times optical zoom with a aperture of f2.7 to 5.9. 35mm equivalent is 24:120. It shoots 4608 by 3456 pixel photos at 16 megapixels. And it shoots 480p video at 30 frames a second, 720p video at 60 frames a second, and 1080p video at 24 frames a second. It's got optical and digital image stabilization, and it's got a lithium-ion battery, which is the Canon NB11L, which actually is not in the camera right now. Let me get it off the charger real quick. This here is what the battery looks like. And the camera takes SD, SDHC, and SDXC cards. So going over the camera itself, you got the flash here, the lens here, and an autofocus assist light. On the back you have the 3-inch LCD, video record button, function buttons with, I believe that's exposure, flash here, macro telephoto, and display. And then in the middle you got the function/set button. Below that, you got the menu button and the playback button. On this side of the camera, you got the USB port and the mini HDMI port. And on the other side of the camera, you don't have anything. On the top, you got the speaker, the zoom rocker and shutter button, the on and off button, and the auto and program mode switch. And then on the bottom of the camera, you have the battery door/SD card slot and the tripod mount. So some more features this camera has. It has an ISO from 100 to 3200. It's got face detection autofocus, center autofocus, and tracking autofocus. It's got power saving mode, which actually shuts the screen off when you're not using it. To turn it back on, you just press any button. It's got some neat color effects like vivid, neutral, black and white, positive film, lighter skin tone, darker skin tones, vivid blue, green, and red, as well as a burst mode for taking multiple photos at once. Now, since this was a entry-level, more or less, point-and-shoot camera, it didn't have too many features compared to like something like the G15 or G1X of the same year. So I pretty much got this camera out of nostalgia because I just have wanted one for 10 years now, and I just happened to find one at a good price just now. And I don't know if eBay updated yet, but it still says that the package is on its way and it should be here by April 26th. And it's March 18th, actually, which is weird. So to list off some pros and cons to this camera, for its age, it still does take some pretty good video and definitely pictures as well. The main con to this camera is its battery life. Throughout the years, I've read and watched reviews on this camera, and I've heard that the battery life isn't too great. It'll last a little while, but it's not like the greatest out there. I mean, it is a small camera, and it does have a sort of small battery, so it's kind of expected. But I guess to get around this would be to get an extra battery. I mean, back in like 2012 when this came out, you probably couldn't find too many third-party batteries that you can get for really cheap on eBay, but nowadays you could find super inexpensive batteries that will fit these cameras. Another pro to this camera, unlike the Sony ZV-1 that I'm recording on, it doesn't overheat. I mean, sure, it'll probably get a little hot in the summer days, I guess, if you're recording constantly or have it on constantly, but it doesn't give you an overheating warning like the Sony ZV-1 does. I mean, don't get me wrong, the ZV-1 is a fantastic camera, just its overheating issues kind of are not the greatest, you know. I don't know. I think it would be a great first digital camera if you want to get into photography and you don't have the budget for, you know, even a cheap DSLR, because they're still like around $500, $600 maybe for a DSLR and a lens. Body alone will be probably cheaper, but you could pick up one of these for under 100 Canadian dollars. I mean, nowadays there are other cameras like, of course, the ZV-1 that I'm recording with, which is good for vlogs. And of course, the cell phone. The modern cell phone has like really good video and photo quality for the most part. Like, I use an iPhone 8 and the video quality and photo quality is pretty good. But I kind of meant like new smartphones, like the iPhone 11 to 13 or the Samsung S21, 22, whatever. Smartphones like that. They take good video and photo, and you could definitely just use those for vlogging. But if you want a cheap actual camera that takes pretty good photos and pretty good videos, and it's small, compact, easy to carry around, I definitely recommend one of these guys. Forgot to mention it, but if you want to charge the camera, you're gonna have to take the battery out and put it in its own charger, which hopefully if you buy this camera off eBay used, it comes with a charger, because usually cameras at this price might be for parts or repair or don't come with a charger or anything like that. But if you could find one at a decent price on eBay with a charger, that's great. You're gonna have to use the charger to charge the battery. It doesn't support USB charging like most newer point and shoot cameras like the ZV-1 here, or the Canon G7X Mark II and 3, I think, which is another downside for the camera. Alrighty, so here is the test footage from the Canon ELPH 110HS. Honestly, it's pretty much the same as the previous year's Canon ELPH 300HS, which I used to have. Somehow I got that camera instead of this one, even though I wanted this one since like 2012, as I said before. I don't know, it's so weird. I got all of these other cameras from cheap now, cameras that you could find for like $3 to $5 at thrift stores. Cameras that I got, you know, maybe back in 2012, like this $30 one or this $20 one, you know. Older cameras like this, other cameras like this guy that I got in 2015 instead of this guy. Again, all these other cameras I got instead of this camera because I just, you know, I'm not smart, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so again, finally got one, and it's awesome to finally have a camera that I've wanted since I was like 10 years old, you know. Here's some outdoor test footage. We got the rabbit outside, my pet rabbit Bunny. What's up, Bunny? So outdoors, most cameras are pretty good, and this one is no different. Hi. It's finally nice out, so I'm gonna start taking the rabbit outside more often. Might wait a little bit longer because there's still some snow and mud around, but otherwise it's nice out, like weather-wise. It's pretty warm. So that's pretty much it for the review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about the camera, feel free to ask me in the comment section, or I'm sure there's a bunch of articles online that you could look at for specifications and whatever about this camera. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in another video. I got some more camera reviews planned, so stay tuned for those.